Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a fantastic day. As always, a great way to support the channel is by leaving a like. It's free also. By leaving a comment, by leaving 2 comments or 3 comments, however you feel like leaving. I like reading multiple different weird comments, or by subscribing if you have not already done so. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. At the moment, prices are still in green. They were green yesterday, like a little light green, and it's kind of the same today. There's a lot of discussion floating around right now around the cryptocurrency market, where prices are, of course, and where they're going to go. A huge amount of the price news this morning is focusing on Bitcoin. We usually end up, and I mean the last like 2 or 3 months as well, I've seen a lot of Ethereum news. Ethereum price, where Ethereum's going, how high Ethereum's going. It was a short 3.5 week period where there was a lot of Cardano in Ethereum. Today, for some reason, is nearly just Bitcoin. It says Bitcoin's price just reversed. Why $50,000 is imminent? Here's why. I assume it has to do with the actual reversal. All of Bitcoin's metrics are great. None of Bitcoin's metrics have really stumbled, even over the last couple of months, since around April, I want to say, or May, whenever it was, when prices began to kind of fall back down. Bitcoin was still completely fine. The worst that we really had was people having to move their mining equipment to other countries. They've been back online for about a good month and some change at this point. The network usage is still really high. People are still plugging in their computers. We have more and more nodes all the time. It's still trillions of dollars flowing through the ecosystem. So the only thing really holding the price down is basically just whales and other people who are trying to, the M word, manipulate the market to be able to buy more. Because there's also, I don't know if I have it here as well, but there's a lot of supply shock news consistently floating around. This one says Bitcoin's price heads for a golden cross. And apparently we have passed by, we're in the golden cross. There's something about it. I don't know, something about, we've crossed over into it and it is now official. I think it's when the 50-day moving average is higher than the 200-day, or the 200-day is bigger than the 50, or something like that. Either way, it's a good thing, and it means that a further price increase is well on the way. So yeah, without having to really dig too deep into this, the cryptocurrency market is expected to continue moving a lot higher. There was a lot of news at the end of last month. I don't know if you were looking at stuff like that. A lot of stuff at the end of August kept on saying that historically September is a very bad month for Bitcoin. And I'm never really sure what people base these things on. It's kind of like people say, well, last year, August was really bad for Bitcoin. And then when we have a really good month, they go, we broke the trend. Yeah, it's because things aren't always the same all the time, especially when we have millions of extra people in the cryptocurrency market. This one says, looming Bitcoin supply squeeze could trigger a new bull cycle. This is according to Glassnode. Glassnode being one of the major 3 companies, them and some other analytics company, who basically look at the chain, look at where money is going, and basically try to see, you can see the addresses who have the most Bitcoin. Are they selling Bitcoin, or is only money flowing into the actual accounts? And as we've been talking about for at least a year now, we can clearly tell that these addresses are buying up more and more Bitcoin every single day. We have news about it every single day. And the entire idea is that as Bitcoin supply continues to thin out on cryptocurrency exchanges, when people, I don't even know how to really put it into proper words. They're buying up all the Bitcoin. They're buying it either over the counter through Coinbase, any other company, or they're buying it off of cryptocurrency exchanges. We've had the news and the metrics before that there are thousands of Bitcoin being taken off of cryptocurrency exchanges every single day. We've seen even Bitcoin's price try to move up about a good 6 times over the last couple of months, but every time that it does, it swiftly falls back down. And I believe that this is just the whales trying to make it seem as if Bitcoin's price isn't going anywhere while they continue to accumulate as much as they possibly can. What's this one? Also in the news as well, it says a never before seen Ether supply shock is underway. Here are the factors at play. It's basically the Ethereum upgrade. For those of you who were not here, has it been like 2 months? I mean, even 2 months, even if it was 9 months, the numbers that are at play here are a little, just a little bit insane at the moment. Ethereum is now, for whichever way you kind of want to put it, whichever metrics you're looking at, now deflationary. The amount of coins being created, I believe, is being far surpassed or outpaced by the amount of coins that are being burned by the network. The amount of Ethereum, you need Ethereum for basically everything on the Ethereum network. You need it to be able to create smart contracts, to lock up things, to create wrapped Ether, to create this, to do that. You kind of get the idea. And a lot of this Ether is being taken off the table. A lot of it was already being purchased by some of the richest people on the planet. The idea being is that the more Ether you have, the more Ether you can create when we fully transition to proof of stake. And I think a lot of people didn't understand that, not in a joking way. I simply think that people did not really understand what I was talking about when I was saying the whole 32 Ether thing. This was around when Ethereum's price was around like $200 or $300 last year, when we had that great fall, which also meant absolutely nothing because we're already back up to the prices where we simply were before. So the same thing, the major two coins, and I would dare even say maybe the top three coins, but we usually tend to focus on the number 1 and 2 coins when it comes to the news, because this is kind of the news that's put out there. Rich people are buying them up in rapid succession. They know exactly what's going on. I think this is a futuristic power play. It sounds a bit weird, but it's more of a lot of the people who are new to the cryptocurrency space. I'm also seeing this as well in the NFT space. A lot of people are getting into the space, and they're simply buying, hoping to make a quick profit, and then they sell, not really understanding exactly what's going on. It's kind of like people about 5 years ago, if you want to roughly say around that time frame, got into crypto, and I met a lot of people who were really into cryptocurrencies. Sorry for the long story, it just kind of is what it is. Who got into crypto because they were simply fascinated by the idea that over the course of a day, prices would raise by 7% and maybe fall down by 7%. So they were able to day trade, and they're like, yeah, this is completely great. And when I saw them years later, they had completely left the cryptocurrency market because they were looking for other new, fantastic, amazing, quick money things, not realizing that the $12 Ethereum that they had purchased years ago, that they were 7% day trading with, is now $3,000-$4,000, and we're getting these $10,000 price predictions. It's the same exact thing right now. A lot of people see the prices, the current prices of the cryptocurrency market, and they go, oof, when I make my 12%, I plan on cashing out, not realizing that these people who are buying up all the coins are, remember the craziest price prediction that we ever had for Ethereum thus far, I believe, was 75,000 to 100,000 over the next 5 years. And that was contingent on there being a $400,000 to $500,000 Bitcoin plus, higher. Mathematically, this is how they were kind of pricing out the entire thing with Ethereum's coin burn and stuff like that. So, yeah, I have believed for a while that all this stuff was going to happen. It's clearly taking place in front of our eyes, but I think a lot of people tend to be short-sighted, and I don't know if that's whatever. Anyway, yeah, Ethereum news, and also on top of the Ethereum supply shock. For those of you not looking at the screen, this is why I said even if it was 9 months, this is completely insane. It's been no more than, literally, I said, no, it's been a month. It's been a month and 11 days. Over $1 billion worth of Ethereum has now been burned. It's been 5.5 weeks. We had all spoke about this together. I assumed it would take a good year, maybe 8, 9, 10 months, a year for us to be able to burn $1 billion worth of Ether. This started on the 5th of August. It is the 16th of September. That is a month and 10 days. You can even see it right here. And even more so, more has already been burned since the time that article came out. It is now $1,030,000,000 has been burned. And a lot of times, even when you look at the chart, it's at $765,000 worth of ether has been burned in the last hour. You look at this chart sometimes, and it really is like very close to $1 million being burned per hour. This is going to have a significant, like you don't understand, significant impact on Ethereum. We've already had multiple other times before, for those of you who don't remember or are relatively new, where Ethereum's original, not supply, issuance rate, I believe it was like 10 or 15. I don't remember the exact first number for Ethereum in 2015, but they've lowered it consistently every single year to the point where it was like 5 ether, then 2.5 ether. Now I think it's like 1 or 2 ether is actually being created per block. So the issuance rate continues to fall as well. There are new discussions about this all the time. Should we lower it even more? I'm not sure if it's to kind of keep pace with Bitcoin or what the actual thing is. But at some point, we are going to see a moment where there's only 0.25 ether actually being produced by a block, as Bitcoin is continuing to have as well, as we're burning $1 billion worth of ether per month. So it's all going to add up very, very quickly. Yeah. And then on top of that as well, there's a lot of random, really weird, not weird, but is like evident price news. It says Litecoin price analysis, Litecoin expected to break above $190. Yeah, if Bitcoin is expected to golden croissant and go to $70,000 and all these other things, well, of course the other coins are also going to follow. There were articles like this for nearly every other like altcoin that we never typically normally hear about, and it's like, yeah, of course that coin is also going to move up in price, because if Bitcoin and Ethereum are expected to plus 30-40% over the next couple of weeks, do you think the altcoins are also not going to respond? Of course they are. Anyway, that's all the price news. Heavily Bitcoin focused. A lot of Ethereum stuff as well. First of all, $1 billion in a month. If that's not significant to you, I really don't know how to tell you otherwise. Alrighty, that's all the price news. Let's move on. Also in the news, we spoke about this a bit, I think yesterday or the day before. It's already come to fruition. I thought it would take a little bit longer. Coinbase recently proved crypto's entry into the mainstream arena with its junk bond sales. The platform sold over $2 billion worth of debt through bonds. The event surprised the market as I can't read this. This is written terribly. Coinbase announced a day or two ago the same exact thing that MicroStrategy had done earlier this year, that they were going to be issuing debt to be able to buy up something. MicroStrategy, they bought up cryptocurrency. Coinbase has yet to tell us exactly what they're going to be buying with this money that they were trying to raise. Initially, they announced that they were going to try and raise $1.5 billion. Allegedly, they raised $2 billion, and they had $7 billion worth of orders for this. It's very, very weird. The idea is that you issue bonds or debt to people who are willing to kind of buy them from you with a really weird interest rate. So the interest rate was 3.6% or 3.3%. And it happens over the course of what was like a 9 or 10 year period, which I simply don't understand. And I don't think I ever want to understand that. It's kind of like when you would hear years ago that people would buy up government bonds that had like a 0.5% interest rate. And it's like, inflation is like 2% per year, right? So, yeah, they've raised $2 billion. Let's see what they do with the money. I assume they're going to be buying cryptocurrencies. Maybe we have sometime next week that we actually have the news of what they've purchased, or maybe it's tomorrow, because for some reason I keep thinking things will take a little bit longer, and lo and behold, they don't. But yeah. And that's not proving that crypto is going mainstream. Crypto is mainstream. We have countries who are adopting. Like, I don't understand. Do people not think that we are that mainstream at this point? Everyone knows what Bitcoin is. Everyone. Older people in my life, my grandmother knows she may not know how to send Bitcoin, but she knows exactly what Bitcoin is. We are already mainstream. Mainstream just means like we're cool, we're well known. What we're aiming for is like mass adoption, and that is we're on the first step of mass adoption. So it's not that we are already mainstream. Like, I don't understand. All right, anyway, so Coinbase raised $2 billion. Wonderful. And let's move on. Also in the news, we had news yesterday that Fidelity allegedly had some closed-door conversations with the SEC to try and get them to push forth their Bitcoin ETF. Now the news is global investment firm SkyBridge Capital has filed with the U.S. SEC to launch an exchange-traded fund focused on cryptocurrencies and other digital assets, according to a Tuesday filing. First Trust SkyBridge Crypto Industry and Digital Economy ETF, that's a name, will have at least 80% of their net assets into companies related to the digital economy and the crypto industry ecosystem, but not digital assets themselves. And I'll explain that in 1 second. SkyBridge defines the crypto industry ecosystem to be companies involved in servicing the crypto asset market, including crypto mining firms, crypto mining equipment suppliers, crypto financial services companies, or other financial institutions with primarily crypto-related clientele. What a lot of companies are trying to do right now, because the SEC is special, and they're not working with the normal provisions. The idea being, if you have proper custody, if you have proper so-and-so, if you have proper whatever, and you can show all this in paperwork, then therefore we will list a Bitcoin or a cryptocurrency ETF. So what companies are now doing is they're trying to launch like semi-fractional whatever ETF, where a portion of it will be invested into cryptocurrencies, but the other portion will be in companies who are already registered with the SEC and therefore already fall under their jurisdiction, and therefore the fund should be easier to actually push forward. Sure, why not? This is number 949 this year. Here's the actual filing with, what are they called? Wait, hold on. SkyBridge with the US SEC. Sure. Hope it works out. Hope you get everything you ever wanted. We all know it's not going to happen, but alas, here we actually are. So yeah, the news also is SkyBridge is also trying to... is this SkyBridge's second ETF attempt? I'm not really sure. But I don't think the SEC is going to be doing anything anytime soon. There was someone... I don't know if it was Gary Gensler, but it was someone relatively close to the SEC who was like, yeah, we're not really seeing it this year. Maybe in 2023 when the market's more regulated. And it's like, okay, well, good luck with that. Anyway, that's the other ETF filing news. And let's move on. Also in the news, America's largest movie theater chain, AMC, has announced that it will accept more cryptocurrencies other than Bitcoin as payments. In an announcement on the 15th of September, AMC Chief Executive Adam Aron said the firm would be expanding the number of cryptocurrencies it would accept as payment. The entertainment giant originally announced that it would be accepting Bitcoin in August of this year. Aron stated that by the time Bitcoin payments are rolled out before the end of this year, AMC would also expect to accept Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bcash as well. And he said all that in a tweet. I don't have to reread it because I just said it the first time. Cool. To be expected completely. I hope this works out. It's interesting that they've once again chosen Litecoin as the legacy coin. This happens a lot of times whenever companies are... Sorry if I always feel like I'm screaming, and I don't think that I am. It's something about, well, first of all, I'm talking into the microphone. The microphone is then being relayed to my, okay, that's why. Anyway, a lot of times whenever we hear that a company is going to be accepting cryptocurrency, especially before in the past, a lot of times it was always Bitcoin and Ethereum, and Litecoin would always be the third coin. It's very, very fascinating to see that Litecoin is still kind of in the game, if you will. I'm waiting for news from AMC that they're going to be accepting or dealing through all this with the Lightning Network, because there's no way on this earth. First of all, Bitcoin's current transaction fees are anywhere from $12 to $25. Ethereum's transaction fees are anywhere from, I think the lowest I've seen in the last couple of weeks was $49, and the highest I've seen was $1,400. Not joking numbers either. So do you want to buy, first of all, movie tickets are like $20 right now. Do you want to buy a $20 movie ticket and then pay $149 as a transaction fee? Probably not. So we'll see how this ends up going. I'm going to use my psychic powers and predict that they are going to be using the Lightning Network for Bitcoin to make it a lot easier for people. I'm going to assume Litecoin will probably be just fine as well, because Litecoin has always had very low transaction fees. And Ethereum will probably, Ethereum. So cool. If you're looking to go to the movies sometime in winter, there are a lot of good movies coming out. A lot of good movie trailers. If you haven't seen Shang-Chi, please go watch it. It's one of the best Marvel movies. I mean, it was really, 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 really good. Anyway, I'll stop talking now. Let's move on. Also in the news, this was the most popular news story of the day. I'm not really sure why, but this was the most spoken about in the cryptocurrency space. Coinbase has filed an application for futures trading, suggesting that it will offer cryptocurrency derivatives to investors. Yeah, that's what happens when you file for something. You usually end up wanting to offer it. The exchange stated on Twitter that it had registered with the National Futures Association as a futures commission merchant. And it says it right there in the tweet. And it says their goal is to further grow the crypto economy. It means they want to make more money. The status of the application is currently listed as pending on the website of the regulatory organization. Previously, Brett Tejpaul, head of institutional sales, suggested that the company's offerings may include derivatives, futures, options, swaps, and structured products. Sure. So every single cryptocurrency exchange is doing the exact same thing. None of them are doing anything innovative or different or special. They're basically, you see what someone else does, you see if it works out for them, and then you kind of mimic exactly what they're doing. All these cryptocurrency exchanges at this point, nearly all of them, have some type of a banking charter. They have stuff to be able to, so saith the SEC, list securities or whatever the actual case might be. So these are basically the new banks. These are basically the new stock exchanges, if you will, kind of all in one little website. So they're going to have futures at some point. Should they have futures? Probably not. We've seen what happens before with the futures market. As far as it's very easy to move, allegedly, the prices of our market with the futures market, because I assume these will not be physical futures. I assume that these are going to be futures based on US dollar or euro or yen value or stable coin value against the value of actual Bitcoin. So no Bitcoin will actually be traded in these futures. And what we've seen once again before by the CBOE, which is another discussion in and of itself, is that if you bet against Bitcoin enough, you can cause Bitcoin's price to fall down. So I think that'll be very interesting to see in the future if Coinbase does list futures, and we see that there are tons of people who have shorts or are betting against Bitcoin's price, and then Bitcoin's falls because of Coinbase's futures, how exactly people will react. So I think it's just Coinbase trying to make another buck or another $1 billion. But this was very popular news. Coinbase applies to trade crypto futures. Coinbase files for crypto futures offering. The only thing that would make sense or make this not completely terrible is if the futures were actually in physical Bitcoin. If they were trading the actual coins for the futures, as opposed to the, because if you bet against Bitcoin in Bitcoin and you lose your Bitcoin bet, well, buddy, you've lost your Bitcoin. If you do it in US dollars, there's no real loss there for you. So, Anyway, that's the Coinbase news. And let's move on. The only other thing that was really in the news, there was a lot of other stupid news, which there always is every single day. But this one was popular, and it annoyed me as to why it was popular, because this is another flip-flop that we keep seeing over and over. For those of you not looking at the screen, it says Shark Tank veteran Kevin O'Leary predicts $1 trillion will flow into Bitcoin. Here's why. I don't actually care why he thinks Bitcoin is going to have $1 trillion flow into it. I know myself that $1 trillion is going to flow into Bitcoin. We know that Bitcoin is going to be here for a very long time. We know all the metrics. We see the adoption. We see the institutional adoption. We see that every single day you are probably also buying fractions of Bitcoin. If you're buying a whole Bitcoin, then more power to you. But you understand exactly what I'm saying. The adoption is there. Bitcoin is very finite, and Bitcoin will do just fine in the future. What I'm tired of seeing is a lot of multimillionaires and billionaires who keep talking nonsense about the cryptocurrency space a couple of months back, and then at some point, the revelation hits them and they go, oh, Bitcoin. And then they start preaching to everyone exactly how big Bitcoin is going to be. For those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, do any of you remember a couple of months ago? This was in May of this year. It says Shark Tank's Kevin O'Leary says Bitcoin's institutional adoption is 2 letters, the letter B, and then the letter S. Yes, if you know English, you know exactly what that stands for. Part of my problem is that especially if you read around for these articles, he said earlier this year that there was no institutional adoption in the space. He said none. 0. He said he keeps hearing about it all the time. He has no idea who these companies are. And he thinks that all the stories are complete hogwash because it's not happening. Really weird, because we know that that's happening. We know it. You've seen the videos. I've been here every single day. So part of the issue, once again, that I have is this is another Jamie Dimon-esque kind of thing where you say, no, I don't like it, but you secretly love it behind the scenes. All this does is cause people to FOMO into the market or to not get into the market at all. If you look up to Kevin O'Leary, sure, and at some point he says there's no money flowing into Bitcoin. It's all fake. If you hear from other rich people on TV saying Bitcoin is rat poison squared, or you should be getting into stocks, or have you looked into government bonds, inflation's not a thing. And then at some point, these people do a 180 and tell you, hey, I mean, trillions of dollars are going to be flowing into this asset class. Well, you've stopped all these other people who could have gotten into it when Bitcoin was $3,000 or $4,000. Anyway, it's going to continue happening. This was, relatively popular news as well, because for some reason, whenever these people speak, everyone is expected to listen. Remember years ago, sorry, I'm looking for the thing. Remember years ago when Warren Buffett was first talking about Bitcoin, and I understand that fear is, a thing. People in the comment section were like, they were asking me, they were like, TMI, should I not be in the crypto market because of what Warren Buffett said? And I'm like, he's like 1,000 years old. Like, stop caring what these people say. They've been wrong every single time. And even more so, there's a website, I'm sure you can find it. I think it's called Bitcoin Obituaries. I think that's what it's called. Where every single time that anyone has ever mentioned that Bitcoin was done, Bitcoin's a bubble, Bitcoin has popped, not even that Bitcoin is going to pop, that Bitcoin is going to zero, etc., etc., etc. They listed on this website, and it's happened hundreds of times, not 800 times, hundreds of times. It happens sometimes almost every single day. It's really quite fantastic to see exactly how far that we've come, but don't let these people who are, first of all, these people all own Bitcoin themselves. Don't stop and think for 1 second that there isn't, listen. Anyway, so yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. All these people own Bitcoin. They all own huge fractions of Ether. They have stock in cryptocurrency companies, and they probably are in some type of crypto mining venture as well. Don't think that they're just sitting on the sidelines watching other people make 25% in a day. As always, hey, very special thank you to my Patreon supporters, Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Chris, Hakeem Wilkins, Empire Queen, Stake It With Valor, Fudweiser, Mortified, Roman Gaba, Bitcoin Ben, Arachno Dave, Tony Ambroski, The Dealer's Den, Red Plum Tomato, Umnu, Wish Nikki, The Letter M, Stephen Dirks, Not Brain, Captain Something in the Z-Way, Lay Crypto, Black Sheep, AJ Cut 5, Speedy 655, and Carlos was like, Mobarazzi, Jojo Shaw Show, VB Nerd, 21, Miguel Grollet, Lauren De Silva, Quarter Bitty, Bare Bones Mining, Troy Allgood, Space Case, Need a Miracle, Pat Turnoster, Conan Don't Skip, Leg Day, Snacky Chan, Tolik Banana, Auspicious Agile and Blockchain, Navarro Williams, David James, Attila the Han, Yasha Harada, Utopia 569, Moonman High, XRP, Martin Stoyer, Nostromo, John Sarson, The Animal, Rita, Abibiophobia, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Mohamaroni, Massive Ventures in Thailand. I was further than my finger was. Mohamaroni, Massive Ventures in Thailand, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Cole D, 3D, Damien, Setsuna, Richie Richard III, Vlad the Impaler, Paxesnik, Mangialavodian, Jim Gardner, Jemmy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller Hitch Test Every Day, and Kyle Skips Leg Day. Yes to Crypto, Bodie McBoatface, Anytime Fitness, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, Bake Me a Cake, Tigara Macho Nisa, On Crypto with Lionel, Crayola Michelle, URL, and Bolero Bastos. Thank you all very, very, very much for your continued support. Thank you to all my Patreon supporters. I do thank I tip my digital hat in your direction. Thank you to everyone who is a member of the channel. Thank you for all the support across the entirety of everything. Thank you to everyone who's still here. Thank you to everyone yesterday who wrote all the fives. There were a lot of fives. I was actually quite shocked of all the 555. Wait, 55555. Yes, 555. Okay. Anyway, at the moment, Bitcoin is currently at $48,293 US. You can't see it that much in this chart right here. It was a bit more clear. Yeah, there we go. That's perfect. There was a huge drop a couple of hours ago, and then we spiked up quite dramatically. And that's when all those articles began to be released that we had crossed by the golden croissant and stuff like that, and therefore we were looking to go to brand new highs. We'll see what happens. It still doesn't feel like Bitcoin is, there, like Bitcoin is about to really rocket away like it really should. But I think it will become abundantly apparent when we start actually doing it. Other coins, of course, responded to the drop and then to the move back up. We'll see exactly where Bitcoin is going over the course of the day. Is there anything significant? Uniswap is up by 7. Chainlink is up by 3. Avalanche is up by 14. Litecoin is... Good job. Oh, okay. This is probably the AMC news. Litecoin is up by 5. Good job, Litecoin. Anything else crazy? Matic Polygon is up by 9. EOS is going up every single day. EOS was like $3 before a couple of weeks ago. And we've had no EOS news, like zero. The only thing that we are kind of anticipating right now is the launch of their cryptocurrency exchange. But even then, I haven't really heard any news about it. So it's kind of sure. And Waves is up by 9.9%. Good job, Waves. Yeah, we'll see what happens during the rest of the... I was going to say the rest of the week. It's already Thursday. Happy Thursday, everybody. I was going to say, I know I'm not the only one who gets excited on Thursdays because I think about Friday, and I know everyone is excited about Friday. Anyway, I do hope you all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all for watching, listening, and supporting, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See